Hello, I'm Neile Jones, host of Focus on Suppliers. This week, we shine a spotlight on sustainability. Walmart's SVP of Sustainability talks about what suppliers can do and the tools available to help transition into more sustainable operations. Learn more about a special place called EcoVet, a company refurbishing the heart as much as it does materials. Plus, Tyson Foods defines sustainability and how they face challenges and embrace change, and a quick visit with Walmart CEO Doug McMillon. Focus on Suppliers starts right now.
Focus on Suppliers is presented by 8th & Walton, the premier destination for supplier development, and sponsored in part by Dun & Bradstreet, Saatchi & Saatchi X, K-Stack, and other outstanding companies.
Your millennial fun fact is that 75% of millennials will actually pay more for products that they know are connected back to a sustainable organization, up to 33% more. And Generation Z, right behind millennials, will also do the same thing. In fact, their purchase intent is growing more and more around those companies that have some kind of commitment to sustainability. But it can't just be a single movement. It's got to be something bigger that the entire company stands behind. Take Tom's Shoes and their one-to-one commitment. CVS Pharmacies recently also just took tobacco products out of their stores. Walmart has done a great job of talking about local produce and organics. So when you're talking to your shoppers in store, make sure you talk to them about your bigger sustainability promise and how that relates back to them making smart choices around your products. We'll see you next time for the next Millennial Minute.
Joining us now to talk about sustainability, a special guest. Please help me welcome Laura Phillips, SVP of Sustainability for Walmart. Thank you for being here.
It's a privilege, Neile, to come and spend a little bit of time talking with you and talking with your audience, which are many of our suppliers, about this topic that's so important to Walmart.
We are so excited to have you. I really want to look at kind of the history and how this unfolded for folks who maybe don't know.
Great. So if you think about 10 years ago, actually around 2005, we had been working on sustainability in different parts of the company, and I was lucky enough to be part of that initial team. We started to think about, well, what would happen if we talked to our suppliers about reducing waste, thinking about sustainable sourcing more. We started to learn more about the issues, and what we found is that we could really make a huge impact with just really having a conversation starting small. And then Katrina came, Hurricane Katrina, and we all remember that moment. And I think really what we appreciate today is that famous picture of the Walmart trucks lined up ready to serve customers, to address associate needs, and to just take action on the ground and make an impact and make a difference. And what we found was that was Walmart at our best. That when we rallied together, we did the right thing for the business, we did the right thing for society, we could really unlock something that was really special, and that we had an opportunity to use our strengths to help others in a way that really drove impact for our customers, for our associates, with our suppliers, and broadly for our stakeholders. That was a magic moment. So after that, we all really embarked on this journey around sustainability. So it's been 10 years. We've accomplished a lot, but we have a lot more to do. There's real challenges here, and something that really will continue our focus. And we're working on what our next 10-year agenda is.
Well, and before we get to the next 10 year, Lee Scott actually kicked off something in a very important speech.
That's right. So back in 2005, around Hurricane Katrina, he gave a speech, and it was really defining for our company, and I would tell you defining for kind of business in general, talking about the role of business in society. And he outlined 3 ambitious goals for Walmart at the time of the speech in 2005. The first one was about energy, reducing our energy, moving to renewable energy. The second one was about waste. You know, we have a vision to have zero waste in our own operations, and we're going to start talking even more about our supply chains with waste. And then the third one was selling good products, products that sustain people and the environment. So Lee really kicked off that journey and that vision, and those are the 3 goals that we've been working against in our own operations and with our suppliers for the last 10 years.
So let's talk about that. How are you really working with suppliers on these goals?
Great. So one of the things we realized as we started working on this with our suppliers was, you show up and we started talking about sustainability. And it's a big word, it's a big topic. It's something that many of our suppliers weren't aware of 10 years ago. So we knew we needed to help them. We needed to bring data to the conversation. We needed to focus our efforts around where we could really have impact and where there was risk perhaps in our supply chains. So we worked with the Sustainability Consortium to develop what we call now the Sustainability Index, which is a great tool. Our suppliers enter a handful of questions, and then it really tells them areas of focus, hot spots in the supply chain. We look at key environmental factors and social factors, and then we rank our suppliers. So within each category, laundry soap, beauty care, household chemicals, electronics, suppliers can see, are they at the top of the list in terms of how they're acting and responding, or are they at bottom? And of course, we all are driven by metrics around retail, aren't we? So our suppliers know the data, our buyers use that data. And so we have buyer meetings, joint business planning meetings, annual reviews with our suppliers where we get out the scorecards and we say, okay, you're doing great here, but why are you last in this one? And we've really found the metrics and the data to be helpful in how we work with our suppliers to drive change.
So good advice for suppliers would be to utilize the tools that are there for you. Correct?
That's right. Use the index, start to make change, talk about it with our buyers, and talk about it with your own customers. And we're excited to see what our suppliers will do in the future.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. You can see all episodes and extended interviews at Vimeo.
We are pleased to have with us once again Bryan Perry from Excel Displays and Packaging. Welcome, Bryan. We're so glad to have you here. As I understand it, Georgia Pacific is now a big part of your company.
Yes, Andy, we're very excited to be part of the Georgia Pacific family.
So in this episode, we're talking about sustainability. What kinds of things is Excel working on right now in that category?
Well, previously we've been working on a lot of stuff in the category of sustainability, and now that we're part of the Georgia Pacific family, there's a lot of more innovation coming down the pipeline that I'm really excited about. Today I want to talk about the X Card, which is a patented system that we own, and it's the most sustainable blister card package on the market today.
Interesting. Now, how is this type of packaging sustainable?
It's 100% recyclable, and it's made from 65% post-consumer waste.
So can you show me how exactly this works and why it's different from what other blister packs have been in the past?
Sure. So the patented system, we actually print the glue, and we can print it on inside of the corrugated wherever we want to. So when the consumer gets this home and he or she opens the package, this actually separates, which can be sent to a recycled container for plastic, and then this can go in a recycled container for paper.
Fantastic. So in the past, we'd have to rip it apart, use a scissors or something to try to get at it, and the two pieces never really came apart, did they?
No, very messy, very difficult to get into, and this makes it much cleaner and much easier, and obviously very sustainable.
So if suppliers want to learn more about this type of blister pack, who can they contact?
Well, go to www.xlpop.com, and there's actually an X-Card video that will show you how we manufacture and process these products.
That's great. Thank you, Bryan, for coming in today.
Thank you, Andy.
Joining us once again, Rick Boosey of KYYA. Thank you for being here with us.
Appreciate it.
I wanted to talk to you today in particular about the sustainability aspect of your business because you have been very conscientious.
Yeah, so a lot of what we designed from the beginning was how could we make an impact around the world? So I'm a little guy, I have a little company, but how could we make impacts around the world? And so cacao's grown in about 85 countries. Most of the time, to get to me, it takes about 10 steps in a supply chain. From the farmer to me, there's a lot of people changing hands. And so what we decided to do was see how many guys we could get out of the supply chain. So in a few countries now, it's the farmer, the exporter, I'm the importer, and I'm also the purchaser. And so what we do is we take that savings that we've created and we give it back to the farmer. Much better than he's ever seen before. And we get really amazing chocolate, and we get to tell the story because it's our story at that point.
And you're working with the U of A as well.
Yep. So one of the things that we strive to do is continuously improve. And so I had this idea, like, could we make chocolate even brighter, even more flavorful? So the cool thing about chocolate, there's over 85 different flavors in chocolate around the world. And so we went to the U of A and we grabbed some of the folks from the bioengineering department and said, could we tune chocolate? So not change chocolate, but could we process chocolate in a way that brightened it and made it very flavorful? And so our plan is to take that output and roll it to every place we go so every farmer can have an improvement and an impact, kind of a value add to what they grow today.
The other thing that you guys work so hard on is to have a zero footprint.
Yep. So there's the one thing about cacao that you can't get rid of is the fact there's a husk. It's a shell. So about 20% of every cocoa bean is waste. And so we use that we've made artisan soaps with that. So kind of chocolate infused soaps is an exfoliating soap for some folks up in Bella Vista. And then we use that in our orchard. We actually fertilize our orchard with it.
You've been able to really tap into the millennials because what you're doing, it seems like an organic fit, if you will, because you're so focused on sustainability and that generation truly cares.
Well, I think there's a movement going on, and I think the millennials are leading it, but I think all of us that really care about our food supply chain want to know where things are from. And so from the get-go, we want to know the farmer. I want to walk the land. I want to be able to tell you that, Mario and his dad, Felipe, are the guys that grow this thing. And I've walked those trees, and I know exactly where that comes from. And I think we all want that. We all want to kind of get back to the roots of, I know where this came from.
Now, it's important to me, too, that we mentioned that you give 10 cents back.
We give 10%.
Or 10%, rather,
10% of our profit from each origin back into the origin that we're working in. So we feel like there are needs around the world, and although we're a small company, if we start now, we can leverage that. And so like in Guatemala, there's a well that we're working with. In Ecuador, there's a bridge. In Uganda, it's the orphanage. And so those things can be kind of the lasting legacy of what we do. And I want to teach my kids those things. I mean, I want them to see that it's not just about making money.
It's about giving back.
It is.
Thank you for your time today. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Joining us now is Ginny Allen, who comes to us from the Environmental Defense Fund. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me.
For people who are not familiar with your organization, can you just kind of give us a brief overview?
Sure. We're a national environmental nonprofit. We're very much focused on what the science tells us is important in terms of environmental issues, and we pride ourselves on being nonpartisan, finding the ways that work, and also finding the partners that can help us accomplish the goals that we have.
Speaking of partners, you've had a relationship with the world's largest retailer for quite a while.
We have. We've been working with Walmart for over 10 years on sustainability, and we'll continue to work with them in the future.
What are some of the things you've learned in that relationship?
I think one of the things you really come to appreciate is the size and scale of Walmart and the speed with which they work, which makes them a powerful partner in terms of really trying to push environmental initiatives through their supply chains and through their own operations. And you can make a tiny change and see a huge amount of difference.
Well, let's speak to that a little bit, because there are still some who might say this is going to go away. This issue of sustainability is a fad. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I definitely don't think it's a fad. I think it's becoming a way of business for a lot of companies. You see big companies, big food companies and others making really bold sustainability commitments. And I think what companies are realizing is that this is a great way to improve their bottom line and to take care of the planet that really provides all of the things that we need to survive and thrive in this world.
That brings me to another question. We talk about front-end costs for suppliers because there may be some concern there about, oh my goodness, this is going to cost me so much to go back and sort of redo our business plan or how we execute things. How would you speak to that?
I think there are some upfront costs, but I also think that a lot of times the payback is really, really quick, particularly if you're just getting started and you're looking at your own operations, you're looking at energy efficiency in your buildings and in your fleets. You can see paybacks that are incredibly quick, and you're going to wonder, why didn't I do this in the first place? This is a great business benefit for us.
We have just a little bit of time left, about a minute. We talk about the Sustainability Index and EDF. Elaborate on that for me.
Sure. So the Sustainability Consortium was created to help synthesize the science and figure out what are the issues that matter most from a sustainability lens. And EDF and Walmart and others have been part of that process to basically create a survey that Walmart can then use to survey its suppliers to see how they're doing on sustainability and to send a signal of what are the issues that matter most to them.
And those questions might be a good starting point?
Those questions would be a great starting place because they are based on the science, telling you what are the issues that matter most for the products that you make and sell.
Thank you for your time. Nice to visit with you.
Thanks for having me.
We'll be right back. We're here today with Doug McMillon, the CEO of the world's largest retailer. First of all, thank you so much for taking a moment to speak with us.
Happy to. Good to see you.
Always good to see you. You were here in support of the Single Parent Scholarship Fund of Benton County. How'd you get involved with this organization?
Well, I heard about the organization originally from Pete Metzger and was just really encouraged by the role that this organization's playing and how much scale they're reaching. They're really making a difference.
And the difference that they're making in the lives of single parents, working on their education, getting into the workforce. Speaking of, any advice you would offer to single parents about what they need to focus on? I know omni-channel has been a big talking point. Are there things that you would just say, be sure you study this and learn this?
Yeah, I do think learning about technology these days is of extreme importance. The world is changing so fast, and there's a revolution underway, not only in retail, but in business in general.
What about learning about other cultures and how to deal with people from all different walks of life? Because certainly Walmart does.
Yeah, the communities today are diverse. Not only as I travel around the world, but even here in Northwest Arkansas, the more diversity is occurring. So learning how to serve those different groups with the items they want and the services that they want is really important.
Just as suppliers who are watching our show, is there any advice that you would give to them about helping to consider perhaps some single parents trying to enter the workforce that maybe they've never heard of before?
Yeah, I think flexibility is a key issue. Today, with the way we're connected, we can work any hour of the day in lots of different ways. And I think as you try to attract and retain talent, you should be flexible as it relates to your policies and don't grade someone based on how early they show up in the office, but rather on the effectiveness that they have as leaders.
Great advice. Thank you, Doug, so much for your time.
You bet. Good to see you.
We'll be right back.
Visit us at 8thandwalton.com to learn how you can become a better partner with Walmart.
K-Stack, the leader in collaborative retail consolidation programs. We offer the supply chain expertise needed to navigate the challenges of selling products with the world's largest retailers. And we provide customers with a customizable, scalable, environmentally sustainable supply chain with the same advanced technology typically used by larger rivals. By leveling the playing field, K-Stack lowers distribution costs and increases overall margins. K-Stack, retail logistics is what we do. Bentonville Plaza, across the street from the Walmart home office. The best office location offers proximity and services like no other business complex in the area. Call 479-200-1112 today.
With over a decade of experience in the Walmart digital ecosystem, Rockfish builds engaging, cutting-edge solutions as your digital innovation partner on retail CPG, shopper marketing, and digital shelf optimization. Find out more at rockfishdigital.com.
With us again, Kari Bailey from Menasha. Always great to see you. Thank you for coming.
Great to be back here. Thanks.
Cannot talk sustainability without having you here. And of course, kind of revisiting the scorecard, where we started.
Seems like a long time ago, but it really wasn't. 2004, we started this journey in sustainability with the first Sustainability Expo with Walmart. And at that point in time, we were really focused on the low-hanging fruit of materials, how we could reduce just the amount of material that was being consumed at retail in delivering products to the store. Today, we're much further down the path. We're past the headspace discussion. We've innovated materials to different board grades, mixed materials, the introduction of lighter weight products, being able to survive the supply chain and deliver on the scorecard itself.
Two things I want to be sure and hit on, the
Sure.
Eco NCAP, but I also want you to talk about the X card.
Both great product introductions, if you will, around innovation and delivering sustainable value in the scorecard with these products. The Eco NCAP, really capitalizing on how things come together and get executed on an NCAP. The X card is a product that evolved from finding savings and green impact in the process of building a product. So when you go in the club environment and you see the stand-up cards that might have gift cards, or they may be products that are behind the glass and need associate attendants to be able to deliver that product to the shopper. That card that is there is a cold sealed vacuum card where we used to use heat seal, so it'll lower energy to produce that product.
What's one of the most important key factors for suppliers to keep in mind?
I think when they have the chance to look at delivering not only cost savings but sustainability savings, they want to look at the entire supply chain and not just at the very end. It's not about just the last thing that hits the shelf. It's about how a product moves through that supply chain. When we look at closed loops inside of where products move from station to station to become a retail product, those loops offer tremendous opportunity to get into a sustainability savings.
I could talk to you about this all day long, Kari, but we're out of time. Thank you so much.
Great to be here. Thanks so much.
Joining us now is Mike Haygood of EcoVet. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us.
You're welcome.
One of the reasons we wanted to talk with you is you're a great example of sustainability. You bought this company when?
November of 2014.
And life changed.
For a lot of us.
Tell me a little bit about what you do.
So we take Walmart trailers and we take the wood and the metal from the trailers and we build custom furniture.
And speaking of, we have some pieces here that people can find in Sam's Club right now on Sams.com, is that right?
Sams.com. There's 9 or 10 items out on Sams.com, and we have a contemporary and a farmhouse collection. All of this is made from the floors from the semi.
One of the things I love is the type of people you employ. Explain that a little bit.
We hire veterans, and for the most part, and then we hire a lot of their family members. We have gotten 3 sets of brothers, and we have 2 sets of father-son working here. And we also hire a lot of the men from Souls Harbor.
For folks who don't know about Souls Harbor, can you elaborate on that?
Souls Harbor is a men's shelter that help gentlemen who are coming out of rehab and transitioning back into society, and they just give them a leg up to help them.
And then you guys help them find a second chance when it comes to careers.
Absolutely.
And you make custom pieces. This is a custom piece, correct?
This is a custom piece. This is a 10-foot table, and the entire design from the base to the tabletop is custom. This individual actually wanted the top to be left really rough, so we basically got it to where there was no splinters in it, and stained it the color that she wanted, and this will be delivered sometime next week.
It's beautiful. Up here we have some chairs because you don't just do tables. Explain.
That's right. We do Adirondack chairs, and we also do a lot of bar stools. So we're continuing to expand the product line and learn our capabilities of what all we can do.
This piece is one of your most popular, and I really want to talk about it because some of these, well, the metal in fact is from what?
This is the I-beams that the wood is attached to, that's actually on the bottom of the trailer. So not only do we use the wood, but we use the I-beams. We do a lot of I-beams on our conference tables, and we do, this table right here is sold to Park Hill Collection, and they call it the brewery table in their catalog.
Fantastic. So many important things happening. I have 2 more questions for you. What type of change do you see in the veterans and in the men here that you're giving a second chance when they get to really take ownership in something?
So there's a couple of things. They're very proud of the stuff that they do. A lot of times they'll sign the bottom of their work when they finish it, but a lot of these guys don't have any experience in building. And we've got a young man who come to us out of the Marines, didn't know anything about building, and now he builds 100% of all our Sam's product, and just does a beautiful job. So. A lot of them are learning something they never was able to do, and we teach them how to weld, we teach them how to build, we teach them how to sand and how to stain. So they do everything here.
We have about 30 seconds left, and as we talk about this, I want to back up so you can also show the other things that you make. Being a sustainable business, you were sustainable from the get-go. That was in your frame of mind.
Yes.
What would you recommend to suppliers out there just getting started? What should they keep in the forefront of their thoughts?
Look at their waste streams very carefully and look at what they're throwing away. There's a lot of value in that. When I was involved in Walmart's sustainable waste program, there was 80% of that product that was being thrown away that we found other uses for. And so there's a lot of money in those waste streams. So look very closely at your supply chain, your waste streams, and understand what you might be able to do differently, because there's income revenue there.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you.
And thank you for your time.
Thank you for sharing our story.
We'll be right back.
Visit WalmartNewsNow.com for the most current retail news.
GigWalk is transforming how work gets done. As the leading mobile workforce management platform, GigWalk provides companies with mobile tools and a data-driven approach to improving business efficiency. Leading brands and retailers use GigWalk to manage their field teams and to mobilize 750,000 GigWalkers to collect data intelligence about their business and brands. Are the shelves stocked? Are my products priced competitively? Are the correct promotions in place? Visit us at gigwalk.com to learn more. GigWalk, make work better.
Bentonville Commerce, less than 1 mile from the Walmart home office. You'll love the convenience, amenities, and customized options Bentonville Commerce offers. For more information or a tour, call 479-200-1112 today.
Are chargebacks busting your chops? Take 2 aspirin and call us in the morning. 8th and Walton for a needs assessment, custom training in a confidential setting, and classes online and in person. Call 8th and Walton 479-715-6700 and feel better fast.
Joining us now, a very special guest from Tyson. Please help me in welcoming Leanne Johnston. You're actually the Director of Sustainability for Tyson.
Yes, yes.
Thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to start off by really taking a closer look, examining the definition of sustainability, if you will, for your company, because we've talked about it's different for everyone.
It is. It is a word that means different things to different people. It can refer to human rights, community development, environmental stewardship. You're going to see it in all forums. You'll see it in marketing messaging, advertising. You'll hear it in boardrooms. It's almost a word that's become a definition for responsibly made. But for Tyson Foods, sustainability is about efficiency, continual improvement, and transparency in everything we do. It's really our approach to business. How can we care and do right for things such as animal well-being, worker safety, protecting natural resources, developing communities, and still remaining profitable? Food's essential, and we have a responsibility to do our part to make it safe, affordable, and sustainable.
Speaking of doing your part, you have a report that you release that kind of shares some of the things that you're doing, and you're actually sharing that information in a different way.
Yes, we actually just released our fiscal 15 sustainability report. This is the first since the integration with the Hillshire Company. The report was kind of released in a different way. We actually released a segment over a period of 5 weeks, so one segment a week. We started with animal well-being. Then we talked about corporate social responsibility. We moved into the environment. Then we talked about marketplace, which is what is everything we're doing around food safety and product innovation. And then we wrapped up with workforce and culture. And we really feel those segments best demonstrate how we define sustainability, and it really offers a transparent look into our performance.
Unfortunately, 3 minutes goes by quickly,
okay.
So we don't have a lot of time. So let me ask you, what are you most proud of as far as what Tyson is doing?
I think I'm most proud of our commitment to continual improvement and transparency. Consumers want to know who they're doing business with. They want to know where their products are coming from, and it's our responsibility to tell them the great things we're doing. But part of being transparent is talking about our challenges and our opportunities. So I'm really proud of how our company is looking at continual improvement and transparency and sharing that with our stakeholders.
So let's look at that issue of transparency a little bit more, especially when we talk about animals and the treatment of animals.
Mm-hmm. I think that's probably one of the best examples of transparency in our sustainability report this last year. There were 4 public reports of mistreatment of animals, either in our supply chain or in our processing facilities. The treatment of animals is a core value to the company. It's something we take seriously. And if mistreatment happens, there will be corrective actions. We did have to terminate contracts with producers, and we did end up actually terminating some employees for this mistreatment. But we also looked at those incidents, again, as an opportunity for continual improvement. How can we prevent these things from happening again? So we're installing third-party video monitoring in our poultry processing plants. We're going to be enhancing training and communications not only with our producers, but with our team members to ensure the animals are cared for and treated humanely.
So really sticking up with your core values, showing people, and then really taking it one step further like you want to as a company.
Exactly, one step further, and again, being transparent, sharing the good, but you've got to talk about the challenges and the opportunities as well and how you're going to improve upon those.
Thank you so much for your time today and your transparency. Here are 3 key takeaways you might want to jot down. First, sustainability has many different definitions. Define specifically what it means for your brand. And second, utilize tools that can help you achieve your goals. We're referring to things like Walmart's Sustainability Index. Also, understand your issues. Start somewhere and make a difference. It's that simple. I'm Neile Jones. Thank you for joining us for this week's Focus on Suppliers. We'll see you next time.